Hello! So I am going to explain to you how the chip model relates to subtraction and the algorithm. So at this point, if you are teaching this to your children, you have played with manipulatives a lot. You have shown your students how 10, you can bundle that together. Something that I really like to do is to take popsicle sticks and have them count out 10, show them how you can unbundle and bundle the activity. In, I guess, either the first or second module, the students actually get a big, giant box of popsicle sticks, and then they have to figure out that bundling them makes it easier to count. So your students must have a really, really good idea as to how bundling works before you really want to move to a pictorial representation. So definitely make sure that you have played a lot with manipulatives. So at this point, what we're going to do is, if you have a hundreds, tens, and ones chart, so you can also sort of do this with place value discs, and place value discs are pretty similar to the chip model. Place value discs actually show how much each thing is worth, and so you can kind of use that, or by using the chip model in this way. So if I have 28 minus 15. Well, what you want to do is you want to start with some problems like this, where the students do not have to bundle or unbundle at this time. And so you would show them how to make this 28, just like this. And these little dots are called chips. You can call them the chip model, or sometimes I just say we're going to draw our dots. From this point, what we're going to do is you want to make clear that the students understand that the 28th is the whole, 15 is the part, and we're trying to find the other part. So I like to use another color always to show my work and to really help the students visualize what I'm doing. So if I have 28, I'm going to look in the ones place first, and I'm going to determine, well, do I have enough ones? That's the big question. Do I have enough ones? So if I'm starting here with 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, I do have enough ones. So that means that now I have 3 ones left over. And then when I go over here, I have 1/10 that I'm going to have to take away. And then I have 1 left. So my answer is 1/10 and 3 ones. And so my answer here is 13. So as you start to use this model, when students kind of start to have to unbundle, it's a really, really great tool. And you may want to do that starting out with problems that are simple, where you only have to use like one digit that you're subtracting from. So if I have 31 minus 5. So I'm always going back to that question, do I have enough ones? So I'm going to represent 31 using the chips. 1, 2, 3 tens. And then I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to represent that 1 in 31 with 1 chip. So I'm always asking my students, do I have enough ones? Do I have enough ones? And then later on, do I have enough tens? And so on and so forth. So if you look here, the students can see that you have 1 chip. Well, we're having to take away 5. So this is a place where I oftentimes, when I'm introducing this, I like to refer back to, well, you know what? When we used the popsicle sticks, I was able to unbundle that 10. And I tell the students they're the master of the numbers, so they tell the numbers to bundle or unbundle. So at this time, I know that the 3 is actually 3 tens. So I can take one of these tens and mark that out and unbundle, but still show 31. And I can still show that by putting 10 over here. I usually like to tell my students the magic number 5, which is sort of just a way that I help my students understand how to keep things organized. So really, rather than writing it like this, I usually like to tell them to make it more like a 10 frame, and then that will also help with visualizing. So now students should understand, since you've played a lot and since you have practiced this a lot, that unbundling. So now I have 2 10s left over, and now I have 10 ones plus 1 1. So now that gives me 11 ones to play with. 2 10s and 11 ones, that's still equivalent to 31. And that's something that we also want to make sure students can understand and really work through, is knowing that numbers can be represented in different ways. So at this point now I can take away 5. So I'm going to use my green marker. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 left over of the ones that I unbundled from the tens place. And I've got this one up here. So now I have 6 ones. So the answer here is 2 10s and 6 ones. So this is sort of where it gets a little bit confusing for kids, I find, is when they have to show it on the numbers. So I usually have the students do it step by step. So I started here with 3. I had to take one of those away and unbundle it. So now I have 2. And then I was able to unbundle it and make it into ones. So like I said earlier, 2 10s and 11 ones, that is still equivalent to 31. It's just showing it in a different way. So now I can do 11 minus 5, that gives me 6, and 2 minus 0 equals 2. So thank you very much, and I hope that this helps you understand the chip model with subtraction.